Good morning, traders. This is Mark Anthony with Mercury Time Price Analytics with the pre-open update from Monday, December 23rd. So Globex, I'm sure there are a lot of folks looking to short this. Our systems got long just a few minutes into the Globex session, a little bit above 32.26, and that got you about 7 handles depending upon your entry. Now, what's interesting about the Mercury bands that we release in the evening, those are short and long cycle bands, and even the short cycle bands encompass trading for many, many days. So those are released in the evening. They apply all throughout Globex into the following day session. So these were released last night, and they still apply today. But so often you'll see these upper extensions for the Mercury bands, and that puts a halt to any upward movement in Globex. So here we have the Mercury band upper extension at 33.91, and we went up 32.34 and a quarter, a little over a tick. That's how precise these are. Now, the other nice thing about having these Mercury bands for Globex evening trading is they'll also keep you out of getting into a preemptive short. So where would have been the ideal time to put a short on in Globex? Well, right here against the Mercury band upper extension, and you had another shot here a little bit before 9 o'clock this morning. Right now it's 9:08, about 20 minutes before the open. Now for today's trading, I want you to focus on these two levels here. 32.29.12 is the trend momentum trigger, and then 32.2677 is the trend baseline. These ranges will typically define the battle zone when trading starts in the morning. And that's a pretty good spread for those, even with the low volatility we've had lately. So I expect today to be a little bit more of a back and forth day than we've seen recently. Now, when you come down here a little bit lower, what happens when the market gets extended like it is now, you start to see multiple pivot levels start to cluster up at the same prices. So right down here between 32.20 and just under 32.23, you've got our live pivot from the 20th, you've got our price reflex pivot, you've got one of our longer cycle Merc bands, you've also got a multi-day trend short cycle bull bear line here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pivots within just a couple of handles. So expect that level there between 32.23 and 32.21 to be a key battle zone. Then you go below that, and we've got 2 levels bunched up here. We've got our trend confirmation pivot at 32.1835, and then we've got our tick POC. Now what POC stands for is point of control. We chart a long cycle point of control for the tick and also a short cycle. So here you get the long cycle point of control at 32.18. Naturally, the long cycle holds more weight than the short cycle. So if we get a move down here to this 18 area and both of those break, we're going to get a retrace back to this other Mercury band extension, which lies at 32.12.29. Now, if you watched any of our other videos, I pointed out that one of the most unique things that our algorithms do is when we run these in the morning, we run the Mercury bands in the evening, but then in the morning we run a proprietary set called Mercury dynamic pivots, and that's what you see here on the chart. We also overlay the Mercury bands so you can get a full picture. But what's unique about the dynamic pivots is they have descriptive names, and it is amazing how the majority of time price will react at those levels. Now I say the majority of time because sometimes you'll get a tick acceleration pivot where the first time price comes down into it, it'll bounce. But if it gets to that acceleration pivot the second time, then it's gone. But what's interesting is you look at this little congestion zone right here. Now the algorithm applies the names. We don't look at the chart and put these names on after the fact because this happens to look like a congestion zone here. So what you've got here defining, roughly defining the top of this range, you've got one of our Merc band upper extensions, and then below that you've got a price acceleration pivot at 32.10, and you've got what we call the tick reflex pivot. And the tick reflex pivot does what its name implies. Price will come down to it and bounce off, as opposed, of course, to a tick acceleration pivot. So if we were to see ES come all the way down from 32, 31-ish that it's trading pre-market down into this level here, which is 32.10 to 32.12.29, you're going to see a lot of friction in that area. So that's the setup today. We appreciate you watching. You can find out more about our algos and our profit capture risk management pivot systems on our website, mercurysignals.com. That's mercurysignals.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.